here to celebrate Stick. Stick, come on up. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you can clap on that one.
All right, Dad.
Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is make some introductions. We've got some guests here. We got Mr. David Stafford, former plant manager, here joining us. We got former postmaster, Mr. Randy Turner, joining us as well. That's Randy. In addition to that, we have the IOB specialist for the district, Mr. Anthony. District manager, Mr. Tom Billington. Same area vice president, Ms. Linda Crawford. So welcome everybody. We're here to celebrate Stick, 50 years. And when you're talking about Stick, you're not only talking about a great employee, a great heart, but a man of great character. A man that cares about the organization and works for the success of Freedom Station every single day. So well done. We appreciate you. I'm happy to have everybody here. His family, if you would, please introduce your family. Please.
This is my daughter, Jordan, my second daughter. First daughter is Jen, and the one who put in 51 years also,
Yes.
my wife, Sherrod.
All right, let's give her a
She put in a whole lot harder 51 years than I did.
I'm sure.
That's for sure.
And then a friend of mine from across the street, Doug.
Welcome. Welcome. Like I said, I'm happy to have everybody together. Old friends, old co-workers here, or past co-workers here. Joining us, appreciate everybody showing up today. It is a milestone achievement, and I'm happy to have everybody together. So at this time, I'd like to hand it over to Mr. Tom Billington, our district manager.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How exciting. How exciting to be here today for Stick. 50 years is really a milestone in anybody's life, right? There's a lot of people there that weren't even born when Stick started, right? And many were just young rookies when we started, right? So, but 50 years is a milestone in the Postal Service, and it's a big one, right? And we really get excited because this is a great place to work, right? When you see all the retirees here, and so many people spend a lot of time here. We spend more time here than we do with our family, right? And this is our family, right? And I say this all the time. You know, we move mail for a living. We deliver it. We sell stamps, but it's the relationships that are the lubricant for the wheels that make it go round and round. So excited to be here today. I'm so proud of you, Stick, and I'm so grateful for what you've done for the organization and for Lubbock and for our country. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ms. Linda Crawford, our area vice president.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a privilege. What a privilege for me to be able to be here to honor Stick today, right? 50 years, and what a story. I feel like I know you already just based on our conversation this morning, but you know, for me, and I'm not gonna, because I'm sure he's gonna talk about a lot of the things that has brought him to where he is now, but you know, my first question to him was, how'd you do it? I mean, how'd you do it, right? I have 37 and a half years. I'm not think I'm gonna make it 50. But mad respect for the fact that he did. And you know, I kind of jokingly said, you know, did you eat onion sandwiches every day, right? I mean, to be in good health, to be standing here, and he was finishing up the distribution. So he's still working, yet this is his day to be honored. And Steve talked about character. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't an onion sandwich. It was how he was raised, right? It was how he was raised that brought him where he's at today. So appreciate you. I want to talk about all the great things, right? It's like I was reading all the notes, and To know that you watched so much change in the organization is quite phenomenal, quite phenomenal. What is your most memorable moment? You shared so much with me, I don't wanna, but your most memorable moment, 50 years.
Well, I've been working for the post office a year or two, and I went out with my wife. And I came back next day. I said, that's probably the woman I'm gonna marry. I did. We've been together 48 years, I guess. And I guess we got a few more maybe. But that was probably one of my most memorable moments, was going out on a date with her and coming back the next day and telling everybody at work what a woman she was. And
Man.
I was gonna probably end up marrying her.
Aw.
And we've had nothing but fun, adventures, exciting adventures. Children. Everything's pretty much worked out pretty good for us.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay, so on the flip side, what is most memorable, I think I know, but I'm not gonna say it. A redo, I call them redos, right? What's happened in your 50 years that has stuck with you for 50 years, and if you could do it over, you would?
The only thing I really regret is getting away from manual distribution. Like we used to work all the letters, all the flats,
These guys, they're like, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
GMS, and we had no automation whatsoever, none. And the accuracy that we were upheld to was pretty high. We had to have 95% accuracy. We had checkers who would come by and check us. And if we didn't have 95% accuracy, then lots of times we'd have to go back for retraining. So we were pretty proud of our work. And whenever the machines started coming around, what they call the spasm, Lester remembers the spasm.
Yeah.
It was like a
Splism.
Yeah.
Splism.
Well, we call it the spasm.
Yeah.
Cause it was always clogged up. Never did work the way it's supposed to. And we got the six bag, and it was interesting. Then we got the 12, and I hated it really because it was on all night long. That's all I heard all night long was that machine going. So when they turned it off after 6 hours, it was like heaven. But when I came out here in '76, I was a window clerk, and all I had was a roll of stamps and a tackle box of change. That's the way we started out. And back then, you had to know your craft as being a window clerk. We had books that you had to go through for international and look at what it was able to send it, the weight, the dimensions, everything. Now the computer, pretty much tells you, but back in those days, you had to know where to find everything. So being a window clerk back then was a lot tougher than it is now. But I enjoyed being a window clerk. For 10 years I was a window clerk. Never worked a piece of mail, just strictly customer service. Slacks, tie, leather jacket. Never worked any mail. but I always looked after the customers. And if we had a piece of mail we couldn't find, I would tell them, you don't have to worry about coming back down here to get this. I'll find it and bring it to you. And I did it many a time. So I was more interested in being a good window clerk and taking care of the customers. And of course, you know, you always have the ones that are unconsolable. But most of them, especially were appreciative whenever I would tell them. They start asking me, where's my letter at? How can I find my letter? And I tell them the same thing I told everybody. You're living by the same method that I have to live by. If my letter doesn't get there, it'll get there eventually, or it'll come back to you. It's somewhere in the system. And they was always glad that I didn't push them off on somebody else, like, well, you need to go downtown and ask, you know. I took care of the problem right there. And really, all the time, when I tell them that we're under the same system, then they would understand that what I was telling them was the truth, and not trying to push them off on somebody else. So, window clerk was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. I couldn't go anywhere without being recognized by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they'd always ask me questions. I'm glad to answer. So, window clerking was fine, and I had a chance to get a mail processing job back here with rotating weekends at 4 o'clock. I was coming in at 9. I said, well, this is a job I could retire on. And that's why I still got that job.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
But I never called in sick for 48 years.
Wow.
I ended up with about 4,500 hours of sick leave. And I had to have a surgery, and I was out for 8, 9 months and never missed a check. Come back, and still had over 3,000 hours. But the post office has always been good to me. When I come out of college, I was wanting to be a park ranger, and a park ranger made $17,000 a year. I said, I can't handle that. So I stayed with the post office, got on with the post office, because my dad was a 19-year letter carrier and was president of the union and died in front of his case. So, you know, I was always raised to appreciate my job, and always raised to take care of my family. Come hell or high water. No matter what happened, if I was sick, or many a times I had sprained ankles, and I would just come to work like this and work until we got the carriers out. And I go home my own. And I never did put my fellow employees in a bind by not showing up. So I always recommend that, you know, you show up for your other guys so that they don't have to pick up whatever you're not doing. And, you know, the post office has 4 things that nobody else in America has. It's got sick leave, annual leave, hospitalization, and security of job. You can't get fired from the post office unless you're stealing or have drugs. So those 4 things right there, nobody else in America has those. Nobody. So my recommendation to the younger people is that you protect your sick leave, protect your annual, protect your job, and then one day you may have what I had. My house is paid off, cars are paid off, campers paid off, and Curtis calls it mattress money. I'm working on mattress money now. So, and I enjoy working. I mean, that was the way I was raised. raised for. I was raised by the greatest generation in American history. You know, they went through the Depression, went through World War II, went through Korea. That's when I was born, during Korea. Vietnam. I stayed in school and got married so I wouldn't have to go to Vietnam because I was Vietnam age. And when I ended the draft in '75, I went ahead and quit the school because I was working 40 hours a week and carrying 18 hours a day. And that was an all-day deal. So I was making $40,000 then, and I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to school for. But it wasn't until I was here 15 years before I finally decided to make it my career. Because I looked and looked and looked and looked and never found another job that a normal person like us could fit into and still make decent money. We're all making decent money now, a lot more than most people. Most of y'all are basing $75,000. Where are you gonna go? Pay $75,000 with sick leave, annual leave, hospitalization, and security. Nowhere. There's nowhere. So you protect your job, protect your family, and let the dice roll.
All right, Stick. It gives me great pleasure to present you the service pin in recognition of 50 years of federal service. A career spanning half a century is certainly indicative of your unique dedication and commitment to our organization's success. The attainment of this career milestone places you in an elite group. Few employees ever achieve this distinction. It is an accomplishment you should be proud of, and it deserves the admiration of your fellow employees and your community as well. I'm happy to thank you on behalf of the Postal Service for your many years of dedicated service, and to commend you personally on the attainment of this major career landmark. Sincerely, Postmaster General Lewis DeJoy.
All right.
I got 5 or 6 of these pins.
Not this one, right?
I put those on my coat that I wear to church. It's pretty impressive. Almost looks like a general's. I got them all over the coat. I have been glasses on.
That's awesome.
Now retired, Greg.
Don't listen to them. We need to hear it.
Congratulations. You know, and the last thing I just wanna say is thank you to the family, right? Without your support, understanding, I'm thinking, you know, Stick wouldn't be here. Thinking Stick wouldn't be here, so.
Well, we certainly had a lot of this whenever Rod wanted me not to go to work. I had many a times.
Now she knows why.
But like I said, I protected my job, and took care of my family, and now I am set for the rest of my life. You know, I'm civil service.
You are really sad. That's a lot of mattress money. But good for you, you've earned it, right? I mean,
You know,
what a story.
civil service, in 1984, they wanted us to go from civil service to FERS, and I said, oh no.
Smart man, but congratulations.
Now I've got a pension for the rest of my life, and for her, and our insurance, health insurance is paid for until we die.
You're set.
You know, you can't beat the bottom line. So the bottom line is the bottom line.
Bottom line is the bottom line.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank everybody for being here. Much appreciated. I would like to tell one quick story that I always tell about Stick. When I came over as a station manager for the first time, a guy named Sam living on the chair as manager, he was going on a detail or something, and he pulled me aside. He said, "You see that guy over there? That's Stick. The best advice I can give you is when he's on vacation, you take vacation." I was saying without him, and he was absolutely correct. So thank you, Stick, for everything. by you, but I want to say something. Priscilla, Denise, Donnie, Candace, all the decorations and everything they did. Thank you very much. They look
Get the